Welcome to today's video, where we break down the $100,000 cash trap and answer a crucial question. Is your safety net quietly killing your wealth? We'll show you why holding a large cash balance at 3.5% while carrying debt at 6% to 6.8% is a guaranteed financial loss, and more importantly, how to fix it. We'll cover an action plan you can start immediately: setting a lean emergency fund, attacking high-interest debt, consolidating old retirement accounts, and optimizing your investments for efficiency. Stay tuned for quizzes, diagrams, and a practical roadmap you can use right away. Let's get started. Here's our roadmap. First, we'll define the cash trap and the psychological comfort it provides. Next, we'll walk through the basic math showing why it erodes wealth. Then, we'll follow an action plan: build a lean emergency fund, attack high-interest debt with the Avalanche Method, consolidate old retirement accounts, and optimize investments. We'll illustrate the plan with diagrams and a simple table of numbers. We'll also include 2 short quizzes to test your understanding. Finally, we'll summarize the key takeaways and map out your next steps. Before we dive in, a quick disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only. It is not financial, tax, or legal advice. Everyone's situation is different, and you should consider speaking with a qualified fiduciary financial advisor or tax professional who understands your specific circumstances. With that said, let's move forward and explore how to make your money work more efficiently. Let's define the cash trap. You have $100,000 sitting in a high-yield savings account paying approximately 3.5%, while you're carrying around $109,000 of debt at roughly 6%. With some loans at 6.8%. While this cash balance feels safe, the math says otherwise. You are paying more in interest on your debt than you are earning on your savings. That negative spread, around 2.5%, represents a guaranteed drag on your wealth. This pattern is especially common among high earners who build savings quickly but delay focusing on debt efficiency. The remedy is straightforward: maintain a lean emergency fund and redirect excess cash to the highest interest debt first. Let's quantify the gap. $100,000 in a high-yield account at 3.5% earns about $3,500 per year before taxes. Meanwhile, $109,000 of debt at 6% costs you approximately $6,540 per year. If part of that debt is at 6.8%, that cost rises to around $7,412 annually. The net result is a guaranteed loss of about $3,000 to nearly $4,000 per year before considering taxes on interest income. In other words, maintaining an oversized cash position while holding higher interest debt costs you money every single year. This flowchart maps the decision sequence. You begin by confirming that your emergency fund covers at least 3 months of essential expenses. If not, you allocate a portion of your cash to reach 3 to 6 months, and then reassess. If your emergency fund is adequate, you check whether any debt interest rate exceeds your savings yield. If the answer is yes, you use the Avalanche Method to direct all excess cash toward the highest interest debt while preserving the emergency fund. After high-interest debts are eliminated, you maximize contributions to tax-advantaged accounts and invest in broad, diversified funds. If no debts exceed your yield, you proceed directly to investing based on your allocation plan. At any point, if you draw down the emergency fund, remember to rebuild it. Start by calculating your essential monthly expenses. In our running example, that's $4,500 per month. Your emergency fund target should be 3 to 6 months of essentials, or roughly $12,000 to $27,000. Park this money in a high-yield savings account or a conservative money market fund to keep it liquid and safe. Automate transfers from each paycheck until you hit your target, and keep the emergency fund in a separate account to prevent accidental spending. If you need to use it, rebuild it systematically back to your chosen level. To eliminate the negative spread, use the Avalanche Method. Focus your largest payments on the highest interest rate debt while maintaining minimum payments on the rest. From the example, if you retain an $18,000 emergency fund, about 4 months of essentials, you can deploy roughly $82,000 immediately toward the loan with the highest rate, such as 6.8%. Every dollar you apply to that balance yields a guaranteed, tax-free return equivalent to the avoided interest. Consider refinancing or consolidation only if it meaningfully reduces the interest rate without unnecessarily lengthening your payoff period. As each balance is eliminated, roll the freed monthly payment into the next highest rate debt, and then into investments. During this phase, avoid taking on new high-interest debt. This timeline paces your next 12 months. At month 0, you define your emergency fund target, retain approximately $18,000 as a cushion, and deploy around $82,000 toward the highest APR loan. Over months 1 through 3, you continue aggressive payments, negotiate rate reductions if possible, and track your payoff. By months 4 through 6, you aim to eliminate remaining high APR balances and cascade payments to any other debts. Months 7 through 9 focus on maximizing tax-advantaged contributions and consolidating old retirement accounts. Months 10 through 12 are about setting or refining your investment policy, automating diversified contributions, rebuilding your emergency fund if used, and reviewing insurance and basic estate planning. Now simplify your retirement landscape. Locate any old retirement plans such as 403B or 401ks and roll them into your current employer plan or a rollover IRA. This consolidation can reduce fees, improve oversight, and make rebalancing easier. Some employer plans offer institutional share class index funds with very low expense ratios. Use trustee-to-trustee transfers to avoid withholding issues, and verify any plan-specific rules. Once accounts are consolidated, define your target asset allocation and set a recurring schedule to rebalance. With high-interest debt removed, prioritize maximizing tax-advantaged accounts. Capture any 401k employer match first, then contribute to an IRA. If your income exceeds Roth IRA limits, consider the backdoor Roth strategy, but be aware of the pro rata rule and coordinate with a tax professional. Use broad market, low-cost index funds or appropriate target date funds to keep expenses low and diversification high. In taxable accounts, diversify broadly and avoid concentrated positions in single companies, ideally capping any one position to less than 10% of your net worth. Consider asset location. Hold bonds in tax-advantaged accounts when possible, and broad equity index funds in taxable accounts for better tax efficiency. Automate contributions and rebalancing to maintain discipline. Here are the trade-offs. On the safety side, holding a large cash cushion feels secure, preserves liquidity, and may reduce anxiety during market volatility. On the efficiency side, paying down 6 to 7% debt delivers a guaranteed return equal to those rates, which accelerates compounding and net worth growth. A structured approach, maintaining a lean emergency fund and following a rules-based investing plan, balances peace of mind with long-term efficiency. Quiz time. If your high-yield savings account pays 3.5% and your loan charges 6.8%, what is the guaranteed return from paying down that loan? Option A, 3.5%. Option B, 6.8% tax-free equivalent. Option C, 10.3%. Option D, negative 3.3%. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is 6.8%. Eliminating a 6.8% loan delivers a guaranteed return equal to the interest rate you no longer pay. This is effectively risk-free and tax-free because you avoid the expense rather than earning taxable interest. Second quiz. If your essential expenses are $4,500 per month, what is a reasonable 3 to 6 month emergency fund range? Option A, $4,500 to $9,000. Option B, $12,000 to $27,000. Option C, $27,000 to $54,000. Option D, $100,000. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is $12,000 to $27,000, representing 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. In our example, the exact range is approximately $13,500 to $27,000. But it's reasonable to set a round number target within that span. Here's a concise, Markdown formatted playbook. Step 1. Establish your emergency fund at 3 to 6 months of essential expenses using a high-yield savings account or money market fund. Step 2. Execute the debt avalanche by keeping the emergency fund intact and deploying all excess cash to the highest interest rate debt, then rolling payments to subsequent balances as each one is paid off. Step 3. Consolidate old retirement accounts to reduce fees and maximize contributions to tax-advantaged accounts, including exploring the backdoor Roth if your income is too high for direct Roth contributions. Step 4. Invest according to a written policy using broad, low-cost index funds, rebalancing periodically, and avoiding concentrated positions exceeding 10% of your net worth. These are the core takeaways. First, holding excessive cash while carrying higher interest debt creates a guaranteed drag on wealth. Maintain a lean emergency fund of 3 to 6 months. Then direct excess cash to high APR debt. Paying off 6 to 7% interest is a risk-free, tax-free return. Consolidate old accounts to reduce costs and simplify management. Maximize tax-advantaged contributions and consider the backdoor Roth when appropriate. Diversify broadly and avoid excessive concentration in single stocks. Finally, automate contributions and rebalancing to stay consistent. To wrap up, start by defining and separating your emergency fund target today. Then deploy your excess cash to your highest APR debt immediately. Consolidate any old retirement plans to streamline management and reduce costs. Maximize contributions to your 401k and IRA, and automate a diversified investing plan. Review your progress every quarter and refine your plan annually to stay aligned with your goals and risk tolerance. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please like the video, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe for more evidence-based money content. I'd love to hear your approach. How much emergency fund do you keep? And what's your plan to eliminate high-interest debt? Share your thoughts in the comments below.